Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. It's that time again to do some NFL picks and predictions. We have Week 13 wrapping up right now. We're going to take a look at all of our upcoming Week 14 games we have coming up this coming weekend. The Thursday games, the Sunday games, the Monday games. This season has been flying by. We're down to the last couple weeks of the regular season. It is almost over. These games mean a lot more right now. The teams that have a real shot for the playoffs, real shot for the Super Bowl, are starting to separate themselves from the pack. We're going to go over all 14 of our matchups, predict the winner, loser, final score, and we're also going to take a look at the best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-runners. Before we get started, though, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. Who do you think is going to win these games? What's your final score prediction? Leave it in the comment section. I will respond to every single comment, and let's jump right into it. Our very first game, of course, is this coming Thursday, December 4th, 8:15 p.m., the prime video game, the 6-5-1 Dallas Cowboys. Let's just call it like it is. The Cowboys are one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. The defense is playing better, still has a lot of issues, but it's playing better. But it's the offense that steals the show. They are chucking the ball up and down the field. And unlike last year's team, they can actually run the ball this year. They're on the road versus the 7-5 Detroit Lions. The Lions are kind of struggling the last couple weeks. They're kind of falling off the radar. The defense is giving up big points. The offense, they're still able to score, but every game is turning into a shootout currently. That's just not going to cut it. The Lions are at home, though. This is their chance to rebound versus a solid team, get things back on track. Detroit 63.1% chance to win. Dallas 36.7%. The Lions are 3-point favorites, a 54.5 over-under. When you're looking at the Cowboys, Dak Prescott 3,300 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 picks. Williams, 1,000 yards rushing. And is there a better 1-2 wide receiver combo? Pickens, Lamb, doing a little bit of everything. How did they ever trade Pickens? That is crazy stuff. But the Lions, one thing they can do, they still have a top 3 offense, number 1 offense last year. They can score some points. Goff, 3,100 yards, 25 touchdowns, 5 picks. You have Gibbs. You have Montgomery. The big news is you've had Laporta banged up for a while now. You got St. Brown now going down this past game. Got me no fantasy points last week. He's questionable for this game. Might not even be playing. He's their primary go-to target. I don't like that for the Lions. Team stats, Cowboys 29.3 points a game, throwing for 271, running for 122, giving up 28.5 points a game. Yes, guys, that is bottom 5 in the NFL. They're just playing better as of recently. The Lions 29.2 points a game, throwing for 238, running for 130, giving up 22.8 points per game. But with St. Brown being questionable, guys, I got to go with that Cowboys pulling off the upset win. They win at 30-24. And moving on to our Sunday game, Sunday, December 7th, 1 p.m., the 9-3 Seattle Seahawks. Give this team a little pat on the back. They had a shutout this past weekend. Shut out the Vikings. What was that? 26-0. It is very hard to shut an NFL team out. They have the offense, they have the defense, one of the more rounded teams in the NFL. They're on the road versus the 4-8 Atlanta Falcons. The big news about the Falcons, obviously Penix has been out the last couple weeks. You have Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, yes, they got the loss, but usually, as long as the sun is out, Kirk Cousins usually plays pretty good. The moment it's nighttime, the guy has 3 or 4 picks. As long as it's in the day, guys, usually, air quotes, he has a pretty decent game. Falcons 39.1% chance to win. The Seahawks cruising this season, 60.6% chance to win. 8-point favorites, 44.5 over-under. Sam Darnold picking up right where he left off last season with the Vikings. 2,800 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 picks. They have Walker, Charbonnet, Jackson Smith, and the Jigba still leads the NFL in receiving yards, closing in on 1,400 right now. The number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. The Falcons, obviously, they're going to need a great game from Cousins. The defense is going to have to play lights out at home, but Bijan Robinson, he's the missing link here. Where he goes, he carries this team with him. He has to have the entire team on his back, not just running the ball, but also catching the ball out the backfield, taking pressure off of Cousins. Seattle, 29.2 points a game, throwing for 236, running for 117, only giving up 18.1 points a game, only 88.8 on the ground. Their goal, take Bijan Robinson away from the Falcons and force Kirk Cousins into third and long situations. May create some havoc back there, create some turnovers. Falcons 20.3 points a game, throwing for 211, running for 124, giving up 23 points a game, 131 on the ground. You can run on Atlanta. Seattle has a very deep running back room. Give me Seahawks win this one 27-17. And on Fox at 1 p.m., the 1-11 Tennessee Titans. Not a good game this past weekend, coming off of just scoring their highest point total. Then they came out, laid an egg this past week. And Cam Ward, the offensive line, you have to hold up. Give this guy some time. And when he gets the ball off, the wide receivers, for the love of God, can you just make a couple catches for the guy? They're on the road versus the 3-9 Cleveland Browns. The Browns got the crap kicked out of them this past weekend. Shedeur Sanders, though, is he the answer? Is he not the answer? No matter what, he's getting the start here. The Browns, one thing that they can rely on Really good defensive roster. Obviously, Myles Garrett might be the best defensive player in the NFL, might set the sack record for one single season right now. But the offense, these are two of the bottom 3 offenses in the NFL. It's going to be a really tough game to watch. Literally might be better to just watch paint dry. Cleveland 53.5% chance to win. Tennessee 46.1%. Practically a 50-50 split with the fans. The Browns 3.5-point favorites. 33.5 over under. Vegas sees a very, very low scoring game. Ward 2,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, 6 picks. They need someone to step up in that wide receiver room. The Browns, Shador Sanders getting on. Quinton Junkins isn't having a bad season, but overall the Browns can't run, they can't throw, but they can rely on their defense creating havoc against this Tennessee Titans offensive line. Tennessee only 14.2 points a game, only running for 76.7. It's definitely not going to help out Ward here, and they're giving up 27.3. The Browns 16.2 points a game, throwing for 160, running for 99, giving up 22.5 points a game. Their defense is on the field the entire game, and they still refuse to give out. Give me the Browns winning this. It's the defensive line, the front 7, creating havoc against Tennessee. That's what makes the difference. They win 20-17. 1 p.m. also on Fox, the 3-8 Washington Commanders. The big news dominating here, Jaden Daniels is still MIA. At this point of the season, I don't even see the point of having him return. Why take the chance of him getting injured at all? Might as well sit him out for the rest of the year. Set yourself up for a top draft pick. They'll be on the road versus the 4-8 Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings, they didn't score any points this past week, so just getting a field goal would technically be an improvement, but they were very shallow at the quarterback position. Wentz out for the season. J.J. McCarthy can't throw past 5 yards accurately. Obviously, they're down to their 3rd-string quarterback right now, but they are at home. Minnesota 50.9% chance to win. Commanders 48.7%. Pretty much a 50-50 split with the fans. The Vikings are 1.5-point favorites. Basically a pick 'em at this point. 43.5 over-under. So many injuries to the Commanders, but obviously when you look at the Vikings, they have no starting quarterback, so this has to give the Commanders somewhat of an edge. Marcus Mariota still very serviceable, experienced backup. The Vikings have Mason. They have Jefferson, but Jefferson can't help you out if you can't get him the ball. I have to go with the Commanders with Marcus Mariota. You can't lose to the 3rd-string Vikings quarterback. Their 1st string's not even good. Their 3rd string's pretty bad. Give me Washington pulling off the upset. They win this one 24-16. Also on Fox at 1 p.m., the 4-8 Cincinnati Bengals, they got Joe Burrow back this past week. They were able to pull off the upset. Joe Burrow looked like old Joe Burrow, slinging the ball up and down the field when their wide receiver core is fully healthy, and you have Joe Burrow healthy. Burrow, Higgins, Chase, that's as good of a connection as it gets. They're on the road versus the 8-4 Buffalo Bills. Finally, for the love of God, they had a complete performance. The offense played well. The defense played well. They've been up and down this entire season. They're on the up right now, so maybe they're due for an upset, or maybe this is a sign of things to come. The Bills at home, 61.5% chance to win. This is going to be a cold game. The Bengals, 38.2. Buffalo, 6.5-point favorites, 53.5 over-under. For the Bengals, expect a steady dose of Joe Burrow slinging the ball up and down the field. They have one of the worst defenses in the NFL, but they can score with anyone. The only way for them to win, though, is in a complete shootout. Buffalo, the reigning MVP award winner, Josh Allen, closing in on 3,000 yards passing. Cook went off this past weekend. He's closing in on 1,200 yards. Shakir Coleman, not a true number 1, but they're definitely good enough to pull off the win. Bengals 23.3 points a game, but Burrow's back, throwing for 225, running for 89. Got to get those rush yards up just a little bit more, giving up 31.2 points a game. The Bills 28.1 points a game, throwing for 225, running for 156. Actually, one of the more balanced offenses in the NFL. Cook had a really good year last year, but he's putting up ridiculous numbers this season. That's going to help Josh Allen out, especially once you reach the playoffs. You have to be able to run the ball, and they're giving up 21.6. Bengals look good. Good thing to get the win from Joe Burrow, but I got to go with the Bills. They're just the better team. I don't trust that Bengals defense. Buffalo wins this one 28-24. CBS at 1 p.m. This is going to be a fun game, or this at least could have been a really fun game. The 6-6 Pittsburgh Steelers. Rodgers really banged up right now. Kept re-aggravating the 3 fractures in his left wrist. Not a good sign there. DK Metcalf, he's not having a bad season, but boy, do the Steelers wish they still had Pickens. They're on the road here versus the 6-6 Baltimore Ravens. Yes, they got that sloppy loss last week, but overall, since Lamar Jackson's come back, it's pretty much been a completely different team. They've been playing better defense overall, and the offense is back to the level that it was last year when they had a top 3 offense in the NFL. Right now, the Ravens at home, they need this win, cannot drop below 500. Actually, both teams need to win. They're both 500 teams. Baltimore 64.5% chance to win. Steelers 35.3. The Ravens 6-point favorites, 47.5 over under. Rodgers, if he's even able to play this game. There's so many questions here. And this Steelers defense, this is not a typical Mike Tomlin defense. What I mean by that is they stink this season. The Ravens, they have Lamar Jackson. He's a top 5 NFL quarterback. He's an MVP award-winning quarterback. He's one of the best field generals. He can throw it. He can run it. Derrick Henry, Flowers, Andrews, likely weapons all up and down the field. Pittsburgh, 23.4 points a game, throwing for 188, running for 94, giving up 24.1. The Ravens, 24.1 points a game, throwing for 181, running for 137, getting a 24.4 points a game. They're about 50 yards below what they were rushing for last season, but Lamar Jackson's back. Do not underestimate that. You do not want to play a healthy Baltimore Ravens offense. Give me Baltimore cruising the win here, 30-17. 1 p.m. on CBS, the 5-7 Miami Dolphins. What are the Dolphins on a 3-game winning streak right now? They have to continue that. Mike McDaniel's, a lot of pressure on him. Greer's been fired, but the team has rallied around him so far, and they're consistently moving the ball. Tua Tagovailoa, keep the turnovers down and you have a shot here. Don't scramble. Don't turn the ball over. Don't take any chances. Option 1,000 yards rushing. Waddle has filled in perfectly for Hill. And their defense has actually been playing pretty good the last couple weeks. They're on the road versus the 3-9 New York Jets. Yes, the Jets are awful, but they've actually not played too bad of football the last 3 or 4 weeks, actually rattling off a couple wins. These teams, you should be competing for, the first 1 or 3 picks in the NFL draft, but now that's easily going to be the Tennessee Titans. Do you really want to win this game? Both fans for both these teams probably want some losses so they can get a top pick, but these teams are continuing to fight it out. Miami, 55.6% chance to win. New York, 44% chance. The Dolphins, 1.5 point favorites, pretty much a pick 'em, a 53.5 over under. They have Tua, Achin, Waddle, and on the other side, Justin Fields. He's not putting up good numbers, but he has Breece Hall. Feed the ball to Breece Hall. Play time of possession. Keep the ball away from that Dolphins offense's hands. The Dolphins as a team, 20.6 points a game, throwing for 183, running for 117, giving up 23.8 points a game. New York, 20.5 points a game. These teams are very even when it comes to total scoring. The Jets are averaging 147 through the air, the worst passing team in the NFL, but they do run for 134, and they're giving up 26.3. The Jets are at home. They're kind of hot right now. Sounds crazy to say that, but so are the Dolphins. Give me Miami getting the win here, slowly chipping their way back to 500. Dolphins win this one 26-20. CBS at 1 p.m., the 2-10 New Orleans Saints. They kind of played the Dolphins close second half, but overall, when you have no legit quarterback, you have no quarterbacks. Rattler, Shaw, doesn't matter. They don't move the ball well. They have some weapons on offense. They just got to get them the ball. They're on the road versus the 7-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, so many injuries, and still, they're 2 games over 500. Mayfield, White, Irving, Egbuka, Godwin, Evans, so many weapons on this team if they were fully healthy. They haven't been, but in Baker Mayfield we trust. Whenever this guy gets the nod here, just give him a warm body, he will get them the ball. The Bucs 72.5% chance to win. The Saints 27.3. Tampa Bay, 9.5 point favorites. That's a pretty big NFL spread. 45.5 over under. The team stats, the Saints come in here, 15.2 points a game, bottom 4 offense in the NFL, throwing for 206, running for 91, giving up 24.4. Not that they have a bad defense, but they're on the field the entire game. Tampa Bay, 23.3 points a game, but they are built for shootouts, believe it or not. Throwing for 206, running for 110, giving up 25.1, but only 97 on the ground. A really good rush defense. Give me the Bucs here. Baker Mayfield still healthy. He has enough weapons to score. They win this one 32-20. 1 p.m. on CBS, I like to call things like they are. This is actually a very tough game. These teams very familiar with one another. Very hard game to call. 1 p.m. CBS, the 8-4 Indianapolis Colts, riding a 2-game losing streak, are now one of the hottest teams to start the season. Still, they have a really good record, but they've lost 3 of their last 4. They'd love to get a strong win here on the road versus the 8-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. How about the Jaguars this season? Give Cohen some props. He has this offense looking completely different. Trevor Lawrence playing better than he has previously. Still, way too many turnovers. He's not a consistent, decisive quarterback, but he is your quarterback. You got to learn to win with him. The Jags at home, 43% chance to win. The Colts, 56.6. Both teams heavily improved over last season, and this game means a lot within the division. Colts 1.5 point favorites, 47.5 over under. When I looked at this game just a couple hours ago, the Jags were the favorite. That's how close this matchup is. It's pretty much a pick 'em. The Colts, Daniel Jones, he's not Andrew Luck, but he's putting up Andrew Luck caliber numbers this season. 3,000 yards passing. He's running the ball. Jonathan Taylor leading the NFL in rushing, closing in on 1,300. And on the other side, the Jags. Just think where this offense will be if they ever get Brian Thomas Jr. back to putting up production. Travis Etienne closing in on 1,000 on the ground. The team stats, the Colts in here, they can do everything. They can score. They play defense. They're averaging 29.8 points a game, top 4 overall offense, throwing for 241, running for 134, giving up 20.8 points a game. Really good rush defense, only giving up 98.3 on the ground. When Trevor Lawrence, when the Jags can run it, if Lawrence can't work the play action, you really see him sometimes start to break down, but he does look a lot more comfortable in Cohen's system than previously. The Jags, 24.3 points a game, throwing for 203, running for 123, only giving up 21.1 points a game. One of the better defenses at creating turnovers, and a really good front seven, a really good rush defense. One of the best in the NFL, surprisingly, only giving up 82.4 on the ground. This is a very tough game to call. Both teams, same record. Both teams can use this win. This win means so much to both these squads, especially for second half momentum. Colts are the favorite. I understand why. But the Jags at home, it's a close game. Give me Jacksonville pulling off the upset. Close game. They win it 24-20. CBS at 4:05 p.m. As me making this video, the game is almost over. Sunday Night Football. The Broncos are up. We'll see what happens. But if they win this, how many games have they won straight? They've been on a tear. The 9-2 as of right now, Denver Broncos on the road versus the 2-10 Las Vegas Raiders. Pete Carroll's team, Chip Kelly's been fired. So many issues, so many things to fix, especially the quarterback position. Geno Smith, he's been all over the place this season. The Raiders, 31.9% chance to win. Denver, not a team you want to play right now. A lot of close wins, but they're wins nonetheless. They have a 67.9% chance to win. 8-point favorites, 39.5 over-under. Bo Nix, second half of last season, Bo Nix played really good. He's been doing that this season. Sean Payton's scheme, the short, accurate dink and dunk passes. He's closing on 2,700 yards, 20 touchdowns. Dobbins is out. But Sutton and team, they have a good enough defense where they always get this short field. They're able to create points based off that defense. The Raiders, Geno Smith, he's all over the place. 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, doesn't really matter. He's not going to put up good numbers. Gentry, Tucker, Bowers, there's some weapons there. They just need a quarterback who's healthy, who can distribute the ball accurately. Denver, 23.4 points a game, throwing for 213, running for 122, only giving up 17.5 points a game. That's a top 5 national defense, only 88.5 on the ground. It's the front 7. That's where that foundation is. The Raiders, this offense is bad. 14.9 points a game, throwing for 184. One of the worst rushing teams, only running for 75.4. It's hard to run the Broncos anyways. It's going to be even tougher Sunday night because the Broncos are going to be coming after it. The quarterback's going to have a perfect game. Easier said than done. And they're going to go 25.7. To me, the Broncos, they continue to cruise. They win this one 27-17. 4:25 p.m. on Fox. This is another really good matchup. This might be the matchup of the weekend. The 9-3 Chicago Bears. I'll be honest with you guys. I picked the Bears to lose last week. I was wrong on that. They just continue to find ways to win. Have to give them some props. They're on the road versus the 8-3-1 Green Bay Packers. The Packers got the W last week, pulling off the game. But let me say it like this. What version of the Packers are going to show up? We've seen them win big games. We've seen them get the crap kicked out of them by the Panthers. Where does Green Bay fall this matchup? They have a 68.8% chance to win. The Bears, a 30.9% chance. The Packers, 6-point favorites, 45.5 over-under. The Bears, Caleb Williams, with Johnson's offense, looks completely different than last season. A lot more comfortable in the pocket. He doesn't have happy feet. He's able to create things. He's able to scramble, but he's always keeping his eye looking down the field. You have Swift, Odunze, Moore. The Packers, Jordan Love, played a perfect game last week. When they're playing at that level with their defense getting after it, this is one of the toughest teams on paper to beat. Jacobs, Dobbs having a big game last week. Looking at team stats overall, like I said, this is a fun game. Both these teams can score. The Bears 26.1 points a game, throwing for 220, running for 154. That's actually one of the most balanced offenses. Very great ground attack that controls time of possession. It opens up things down the field for Caleb Williams, and they're giving out 25.6. Their offense is good, but their defense, highly questionable here, and they're on the road. The Packers, 24.5 points a game, throwing for 223, running for 117, only giving up 18.7. Good, solid secondary, great defensive front 7. I'm going to go with the Packers. The kicker here, they're at home. Lambeau Field, very difficult place for the road team to play. Packers win a closer game than some think. They win it 24-21. Fox at 4:25 p.m. The 9-3 LA Rams. I've been saying for a couple weeks now, the Rams, in my personal opinion, might be the most complete team in the NFL. but they did lose this past week. It was a shootout, but when you look at the team, they can throw it, they can run it, they have a top 5 defense. They're on the road versus the 3-9 Cardinals, who played a close game last week, but they ended up getting the loss. Jacoby Brissett filling in here. He's actually been having a pretty good season. They do not want to put Kyler Murray back out there. Cardinals 33.7% chance to win. The Rams a 66% chance to win, 7.5-point favorites. 48.5 over-under. Stafford's closing in on 3,100 yards. He's had better passing seasons, but I do think this is the most efficient season of his career. He has Williams. He has Nakua. The Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett is going to have to play a perfect game for them to have a shot. Looking at team stats, the Rams coming in here, really good offense, top 6 overall, 27.8 points a game, throwing for 247, running for 114, only giving up 17.5 points a game, and that's with the high-scoring game today. Arizona, 22.1 points a game, throwing for 237, running for 101, giving up 25.3. The Rams were on a little bit of a roll there. They got humbled this past weekend. I don't see that happening back-to-back games. They just got their L. Now it's time for them to get some W's. The Rams win this one 28-17. And our final Sunday night game, but second to last game overall, NBC, 8:20 p.m. Sunday night, the 7-5 Houston Texans. What are they riding, like a 4-game winning streak right now? C.J. Stroud came back. The offense continued to hum along, and they have a top 2 overall statistical defense. The defense will travel with them on the road here versus the 6-6 Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, that was a close game versus the Cowboys. They did not bring their game. The defense gave up a lot of points. They have a good overall defense, but they are starting to get a little older now. They don't have a great running game. They don't have a wide receiver number 1. It's been limiting this offense and this defense so far. KC at home, though, very difficult place to come into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs at home. But like I said, defense does travel. KC 66% chance to win. The Texans 33.7. Chiefs are 4.5-point favorites, 42.5 over-under. Collins and Chubb, Stroud, you guys are going to have to play a good game because this front seven, they're going to get after it. They cannot afford to drop below 500. Some are saying the Chiefs are already out of the playoffs. If they drop this one, it just makes it that much more difficult. Houston, 21.9 points a game, throwing for 219, running for 108, only giving up 16.5 points a game. A very good defense. The Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, you guys are going to have to be efficient, run the ball, keep the ball away from Houston. KC 25.4 points a game, throwing for 257, running for 118, giving up 19.3 points a game. They have a good defense of their own. It's not as good as the Texans, but it's definitely still a top 10 defense. Hunt, Pacheco, you guys are going to have to help out Patrick Mahomes, and for the love of God, can you guys hold on to the ball when he hits it in the hands? Gives me the Chiefs rebounding off that loss with the win. They win 23-17. And we finally made it to our final game, our Monday night matchup. This coming Monday, December 8th, 8:15 p.m. on ABC. The 8-4, the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles, not playing quite up to par of what they did last season. Riding a 2-game losing streak right now, but at some point, they're going to right that. They're going to get things back on track. They have to, right? They're on the road versus a tough team themselves. The 8-4 LA Chargers, Sirianni versus Harbaugh. The game is going to come down to the defenses, but mainly the quarterbacks keeping the turnovers down and being efficient in the passing game. The Eagles 52.2% chance to win. The Chargers 47.4%. Really close game. Tough game to call. The Eagles 3-point favorites, 41.5 over under. The big thing that separates to me this Eagles team from last year's Eagles team is Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley only closing on about 800 rushing yards. Last season, he had over 2,000, and they're running for about 50 yards less per game. That has hurt this team. It's definitely hurt Jalen Hurts' accuracy pushing the ball down the field. Just as A.J. Brown, he's not as accurate in the deep passes because the play action doesn't have the same threat it usually has. And the Chargers with Harbaugh here. Herbert, banged up, might not play this game. We don't know right now, but Harbaugh's been loving pushing the ball down the field. On the one side, Barkley, Smith, Brown, a lot of weapons on the Eagles team, and they have a good defense, good offensive line. Chargers don't have a bad defense either. If it's Herbert, he's going to have to play accurately. He has Ladd McConkey, but they're going to need that defense to help up, especially shutting down the tush push, getting the Eagles offense off the field. Looking at team stats, the Eagles are coming in here 22.5 points a game, throwing for 196, running for 109, giving up 20.8 points a game. Chargers 23.1 points a game, throwing for 225, running for 122, giving up 21 points a game. I have to go with the Eagles here. I have to give them an edge. They're riding a 2-game losing streak. I do not see that continuing. They got to steal one of these wins. Eagles win this one 24-20. Guys, that's all of our picks and predictions on all of our Week 14 NFL games. We went through all of them. We broke them all down. We gave you the final scores, the winners and losers. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. Who do you think is going to win these games? What's your favorite game coming up? What's your final score predictions? Leave it in the comment section. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching.